So our longtime quest of trying to find a 400-inch giant non-typical mule deer buck continues out here today, switching it up just a little bit by coming here to Loggers Point, which frankly, despite the kind of low kill totals every single hunt, has been the source of some of our absolute best trophies. Now, I do want to quickly address this at the start of the video. I have to prep this content pretty far out, so if the holiday event has already started and you're wondering why the heck we're here on Loggers Point, that's why. At the time of this recording, there is no holiday event going on. And if it hasn't started, just pretend I didn't say that. But anyway, we're going to get going out here on the northern part of Loggers Point, and we're going to see what we can find out here today. And we're officially off and running. Max weight estimate mule deer buck track. The problem is, we almost made it to this tower. I think we're going to jump up here, do a little calling, and if he doesn't come in, obviously we'll go and track him. But there is certainly a chance they're somewhere around. Very often, there are deer just hanging around this tower, and maybe, you know, they're kind of moving this way now. Maybe they've looped out and around or something. I think we'll at least give that the chance, as well as whatever else might be around. And you know what? That might have been the right call. This buck's 120 to 135. That one just grunted. Not a rediscovered trail, so I did pick up at least one other buck track. Could very well have been from this guy. Kind of curious what his weight estimate is, because the track we had was really low. It could be that one. And that one is sneaking in really close. So, big one's at about 30. And he's got some stickers and stuff. He's not going to be special himself, but definitely want to go ahead and try to get him taken out. I wouldn't mind. I guess if we take him, we'll get to see either way, but I would have liked to have known maybe even before the shot. That's not the buck. Because we're still on his trail. And I guess this was just a separate group of three that also happened to have a heavy buck. So, kind of like, on one hand, it would have been nice to not have to track him, because that can be a lengthy ordeal. But on the other hand, we just shot a nice buck, and there's still potential for an even better one out there at the end of that trail. So, this guy, lung, liver, stomach, intestine, 192 score. Not a bad way to kick this hunt off. And let's go and see if we can figure out what's on the other side of these tracks. I think we might have found them. Or maybe, is that the same group as the one that we shot? Because I think it is. How the heck did they get down here? Well, we're still gonna have to do something about that, because obviously spooking them forward, the most recent track was something like 20 minutes old. We could completely screw up the whole thing, and we're also not very far off the shore, so there's a really good chance those deer that we're actually tracking are right here in front of us somewhere. So, gonna let this guy kind of slowly work his way out into the open. I mean, if he turns around, maybe that's fine. I think he sees us, and I mean, it's not like we can just shoot him with a gun and make this problem go away. So we're gonna try to hurry along here. Something spooked though. I think it's that other buck. So like, we're not completely screwed up here, but he's running exactly where I think the deer that we're trying to find actually are. Doesn't mean he's gonna spook them, but I don't know, he didn't exactly go the direction I would have wanted. There's our most recent track, 23 to 30 minutes, and walking right at the shore. There's another track going this way. Might not be so bad, but oh, that's not a track, that's a dead deer. This guy, lung, liver, stomach at 23 meters, 159 score. I was really hoping maybe they'd just be right out there on that peninsula, but I don't think we're going to get that lucky. I think that's going to be our guy. He's 125 to 140 and 170 to 200 on the score estimate. That track will confirm it. And we do have today the 12 gauge Maisto. And fortunately we brought the slug scope, because since he's spooked down there, I think we'll just load this up, try to get to 75 or so, and as soon as he turns or does something, hopefully we can get him down and move on. So finally he's moving, actually turned good and broadside for us, stopped there, and apparently he's feeding right down on the beach. So picking his head up, that's gonna knock him down, and so stereotypical Loggers Point. I think I said right when we pick up the track, it can be a lengthy ordeal. Just try to track stuff down. We're nearly an hour into this hunt, and just 3 kills, 2 admittedly being good bucks. I think a 192 or something like that. And this guy I think is going to be 180s. And by the way, apparently this was a single player hunt. Heart shot, by the way. But I didn't mean to do that, so we also can't just use the F3 menu and see how many kills we have, but pretty confident it's been the 2 big bucks and the one that was kind of in our way. Now, I've learned my lesson with loggers points hunts over the last 8 months or so, however long we've been really doing this, and that is that you don't pass up an opportunity to buck. Oh, good. We might be inadvertently passing up an opportunity to buck. Let's see here. I think we're going to be okay. There's another, I think, buck coming into the left, but this one should be a little bit bigger. Able to drop him. I didn't hear anything take off, but I know I heard footsteps. Okay, that makes just a little more sense. That's a whitetail doe coming in. So maybe there wasn't another buck, but anyway. On maps maybe like Red Feather Falls, if we were whitetail hunting anyway, this is a buck that we might see it at 200 meters and just not even bother, because obviously we're looking for better things. But when you pass bucks like this on loggers, that's how you end up hunting for 3.5 hours and kill like 7 deer. So we'll take that and our little bonus doe, and we're going to start to make our way down towards the center tower. We're pretty well out of mule deer territory right now, but about the time we hit the center tower and move south of that, we'll be back into it, and in the meantime, maybe we can even find a better whitetail. You know, the theme of today might just be tracking heavy mule deer bucks, because 115 to 135, just about max weight estimate, and I know it just said we're kind of out of mule deer territory, but he's bringing us back north, and I guess, you know, on to another potentially lengthy adventure. Now, I'm far from sure of this, but I think that's our buck. 115 to 130 on the weight, and honestly, I kind of hate to use the shotgun again, but where we're at, I think we'll just go ahead and do it. And if that's not him, we maybe send our buck running somewhere else. But what's odd is, he's with these other ones. That should be single lung, he shouldn't be going far. I never noticed anyway, this entire track from all the way up here, never noticed any other deer tracks that were like consistently staying with him. So very quickly we shall see. I don't see any active trail lighting up. Was that not him? It surely was not. That's 2 today. It's a long shot. I'm not going to click on his tracks. We can track him down without it. There's the tracks from our buck, and like it was going right through here, so I thought that had to be him. 14 to 21 minutes going that way. We might not have spooked him, but we probably spooked him. Our third, though, big frame muley, here on Loggers Point, it might be a 200. It's pretty close. Now, that short time will keep him from getting there. Right long shot, he was 121 kilo. Gonna be a 193, making him our biggest on the day. And there's still another potentially decent buck right out here in front of us, but that might have been a fatal mistake. So once again, we are spotted by a deer. I think this, like, army camo is supposed to be specifically effective on deer, but so far, they are seeing us today. But that, actually, I think, I sure hope not. That's not the buck we're tracking. That's a much smaller whitetail buck. That mule deer, we just got to the point that he's roaming, and he shouldn't be that far away. That makes things interesting, because obviously we called to bring this guy in. That smaller buck's coming in. Maybe we just sit here and bring him in too. And if the muley walks out, maybe we gotta go with the shotgun. I will say though, one thing I'm pretty happy about, not much of a lack of bucks so far. 94 kilo nearly for this guy, so that's a big positive. We didn't pick up his track and waste time following that. What might be a little bit of a waste of time is bringing that other buck in, but if it lets our mule deer come in too, I think that'll be worth it. And sure enough, there's our mule deer buck. Smallest of the ones we've tracked thus far, but that's reasonable shotgun range, and with the smaller whitetail buck getting pretty close, I think if we can get a crack at him, we'll probably go ahead and try to get it. I think there's that smaller buck grunting. He's just at that point, like, maybe high enough on the hill. We ought to be able to get this. We just gotta kind of take our time and not rush this. So now we can actually see the chest there. Really convenient he stopped before he got behind that rock. You can see that small whitetail buck was getting pretty close to us. But now, we've tracked, I guess, only 2 heavy bucks. I was thinking we tracked 3, but the first one we called in. And this guy's not big frame, but pretty decent looking deer. And we still have like a lot of loggers to cover. This guy we double lunged at 45 meters, 163 score. But when we look at this, we haven't been anywhere south yet. We're just getting to some of my favorite parts of the map, so hopefully this kind of rate continues. So at least a slightly better whitetail buck, 115 to 140, and we're pretty well moving into solid mule deer territory once again. So that guy, oh, that's a problem. That guy saw us and took off right as we shot. Probably shouldn't have stood up for that extra visibility. Where did that hit? Was that guts? It was. Let's think, because we can fast travel. I never do any good at this tent. Literally never. We're gonna see what happens. See if we get a deer here. Pheasant. But what we'll do is just hunt our way back to where we hit that. Make a little marker right about there. And we should be able to go and recover them pretty quickly. So unfortunately, not a lot happening between our tent and our dead buck, but since he took off, not terribly bad. 6.5 minute wound time, 123 score. Certainly could have gone a whole lot worse. You know, I talked about these loggers hunts and how so often we don't get a lot of kills. And I kind of wonder if usually we're kind of picking the wrong direction, because so many mule deer bucks were up at like the northern part of the map. Since heading south here, we have not seen much at all, but little buckshot for that bobcat right there. We'll grab our E-color here, wherever we have that. And it's basically just free GM, call it in real quick and, you know, add a little bit to our total. But as we're going along here, we have not seen a mule deer buck since, I think, somewhere up in here. So low estimate on our bobcat, though, which looks like we hit pretty much everything. Even, you know, left front leg, head, skull, left hind leg. 7 score for a male. It's about as low as it gets, but still 79 GM. And I think what we're going to do now is start to make our way up into the crater. A lot of times there are mule deer, even whitetail deer there late, but like I said, so many were north, I don't know what to expect. So now we begin the process of going all the way back north, just really trying to thoroughly check loggers. We do have another buck coming in, probably among the most unlikely spots. This is a really good whitetail spot, but not a lot of mule deer here until you get late in hunts as we are here. Now the thing about it is, there's another buck coming in that's like the exact same size, probably a little bit bigger. And fortunately he was far enough away he didn't spook. Surprisingly, this hog over here also didn't care. So we'll try to make it a double here. Curious if he'll happen to stop in the same spot, because there we go, could be kind of cool. Could have been if we could have dropped both. Wonder if we were just a tiny bit too far right? Might have just missed out on double lung. I gotta think it was single lung. So it shouldn't be that big a deal, and he actually ran north, so where we're going. Do you want to take a look at this? Yeah, there's long blood back there, so not a huge deal, but we will have to track yet another one. 100 kilo on the dot, by the way, 127, which does mean this one will outscore him. And so obviously, single lung, yeah, I can maybe see how it only would have been one. Pretty far forward there. That guy, 28.5 meters, obviously shoulder blade and left lung, probably then... Yeah, we shot too far forward and missed the near side lung, that makes sense. 140 for him. And I guess, you know, at this point, we're already working our way north. We'll try to go all the way back up to where we started, maybe taking a slightly different path, and see if we can encounter any more. Man, that's just a bummer. 95 to 120, hello there. Might end up shooting the pig, to be honest. See what's gonna happen here. Is it gonna just immediately bolt? It's gonna give us time for that brain shot, so we'll take it. We've actually got a bobcat track, which is max weight estimate, but it looks to me like it's pretty big, and we kind of lost the track anyway, and then that buck grunted. So sitting there waiting for him to crest the hill, and then that being the headgear he had, not exactly super exciting, but maybe this bobcat back here has a chance to be. So maybe would have been better off staying put, but our bobcat's right out there somewhere. I think we'll just try to get ready and go for this. Right there. That'll be no problem for the 12 gauge buckshot, and what I think is going to be our last kill, at least has potential to be something pretty good. I think our PP is in the mid 9.3 range, so there's a chance there. Obviously scored by a skull, and looks like he's got a big skull on him. Weighs 21.2 kilo is decent. 8.9 only, he didn't even top 9. Dang, that's pretty good weight. Little bit of a bummer then. And I think unfortunately, no trophies from Loggers Point today, but can't win them all, can't get insane trophies like rare pheasants and mule deer and things like that on every Loggers Point hunt. And as we go back here and collect our e-collar, I think that is going to do it for this video. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.